services, our trauma teams, the blood bank, all of that makes a huge difference in being able to save those lives because we have to act quickly. But I'll be honest, caring for 3 shooting victims, plus the other that came in, is not an infrequent day for us. And the events surrounding this made this obviously much more difficult. But to be honest with you, we barely had to adjust our operating room schedule to be able to do this. That's how frequent we are having to deal with gun violence in our community. I'll tell you personally, I'm weary. I've been in Louisville for 15 years, all of it at University Hospital. For 15 years, I've cared for victims of violence and gunshot wounds. And people say I'm tired, but I'll be answered. It's more than tired. I'm weary. There's only so many times you can walk into a room and tell someone they're not coming home tomorrow. And it just breaks your heart. When you hear someone screaming, "Mommy," or "Daddy," it just becomes too hard day in and day out to be able to do that. Now, my team is fantastic. They're absolute professionals and they're wonderful. But sooner or later, it catches up to everybody. You just can't keep doing what we're doing because you just can't keep seeing these lives lost. You can't keep seeing all the people with these horrific injuries coming through the door without doing something to try and help them. And I don't know what the answers are. I'm a doctor. I don't know what the answers are. But to everyone who helps make policy, both at state, city, federal, I would simply ask you to do something. Because doing nothing, which is what we've been doing, is not working. We have to do something because this is just getting out of hand across our city and across this great nation of ours. Sorry.
There, right there, is one of the doctors from the hospital in Louisville which treated some of the shooting victims yesterday. And you hear from him a common plea you hear after one of these shootings: you have to do something. But the question is, what can be done? You know, what actually will make the world a safer place? The guns have always existed in this country. What has not been a current, a regular occurrence are these mass shootings. So you have to look at what else has been introduced into civilization and society besides these guns that is also contributing to what's going on. And we don't hear the conversation about, what about all these drugs that are being prescribed to people? What type of influence is social media having on a lot of these shooters? Because this particular shooter in Louisville went on Instagram and live streamed his attack.
Clearly a cry for help, and was, reportedly calling friends saying that he was going to do something. So there were some warning signs. And again, it is the mental illness aspect that we always say people need to look at this. What was he possibly taking? There's histories of concussions here. So, obviously tragedy played out, but exactly, what this person was thinking and, his mental state, we don't know.
Right.
We know the body camera footage will be released later today, and that will be part of the story too. And
this officer, Nicholas Witt, who we mentioned, he's still in the hospital recovering in critical condition. He was shot in the head, but he'd been on the job 10 days, just graduated from the police academy, running towards that gunfire. This happened in a bank, and you have to wonder, where was the security inside the bank? So we'll, of course, be focused more on Louisville. We'll cover this a little bit later.